let's start doing some finer lines out. Some of the hairs are going out that way, shooting up. Short lines. These are not the long hairs. Very short lines. Don't make them long. And these are going up this way. From the center piece here, they shoot out this way a bit, and then up that way. So let's do this outside one. Get some long little hairs. Be careful. Very thin. Don't put too out there. Flick them out so that you have that. If you go too much of a straight line, you don't get the effect of the hairs. Some of these are shooting out this side, a bit longer out here. A few nice long ones in this one area. Even the ear's got a few little hairs on it. The side we're going to very softly put a bit of a cross hatching in there. And let's roughen up the edges a little bit. It's very slightly, so you take that absolute line away. And a bit darker mark up in there. Okay, that's good enough for the distance. Here, a lot of tiny little hairs going up the side, so you can very, very carefully. Don't put too many in, you don't want it too. They're not too dark. Put them in lightly first so you can always add some more in to give the darker areas. Inside this area here too has also got some little hairs. These are all going up this way. So I'm using the edge, I'm not doing it straight on. I'm using the edge of this and I'm getting much thinner lines, actually almost as thin as if I had been using the other little mapping pen. Get that in. There's a few lines this way. And some of these dark in this area. In other words, I'm starting to put a bit of moulding in. I'm getting some. The sun is lighter on the top end here. These hairs are going out this way. It's much darker out here, so let's darken that piece a bit. A few darker hairs out here. Now we can sort of bring some out. Here we can put just a few little marks. tip here. It's got these very fine hairs. I don't put too many of them, just a few in the lighter area, just to give you the impression of these, of the hairs. And it's a little bit darker down here. You can add a few more in here, down into this area. Up until here. A little bit more darker in here than here. So here we're going to bring some of these hairs down this side now. Here we just have a few little lines into here. Very soft. Don't put too many in, it's light here. A bit darker down this side. And out here we have a few little hairs coming out. It's also in the sun, so you're not going to see too much detail into this area. This here is quite dark. Bring that down here, and it's sharp, very sharp edge right down to this point here. Here I'm going to leave a little bit of sunshine coming in, or a bit of a lighter area, and up top here as well too, a little bit lighter. You get a bit of detail on the nose. Darker inside here, and that goes dark inside here. It's on the shadow side. The nose. I think I'm going to darken that and just let that little, just that little bit there show through. Okay. Cross hatching in that area. I'm going to put a bit of cross hatching in here. And a touch of cross hatching this way. Very fine. Get that. Very fine. I don't want to sort of overdo it. This area is also a little bit darker. Darker in here. more in this area. I'm just sort of looking to see now where the different shadings are, which put some of this hair coming out the top here. Very fine little hairs. And all these going out this side. Dark on the outer edges. Come back into this one. Do a few little finer little lines in there for the hair. Also, just break that solid line up a little bit. Cross-hatching, very fine cross-hatching in here. Just a few marks in there. And in here we need a lot more of these little hairs coming down the side and doing a turn. In amongst that lot. That way, this way. A little bit dark in this area, so I'm going to do a little bit of cross-hatching. But the cross-hatching mustn't interfere with basically with the direction of the hair. So we got that. This area here also needs a little bit of a darkening down here as it turns around a little bit. I don't want to have too many areas it's absolutely blank with no markings in at all. A little bit of a white area that comes around the eye. Very characteristic of all that. So now we can put some of these other hairs coming down, all in line with these other markings. If I'm going over the whiskers, some places you can put a few little cross hatchings in. We're coming to an area now where it's more just the hair, all the real hard work is done. As it see, in some of these places here I'm also putting a bit of cross hatching in as I'm going along, but still sort of half in the line the way the hair is going. It doesn't interfere, and it also gives me some of the dark shading. So alright, let's go down to the bottom. Here we have also got quite a little bit of these hairs coming out, and these are all sensitivity hairs actually. It's all what helps them catch their prey. That's why these long whiskers, the cats have got long whiskers. anything on the side of it just has to catch it a bit, and they know exactly where it is, and they can react fast. I've actually made that almost a little bit too dark in there, so hopefully you can get away with that. When we come into the lighter areas, there from here I'm going to put a little darker line underneath the bottom line of the whisker, and that gives you the shadow of it, and that'll also bring it out a bit. But here we got some of the hairs coming out and spraying out. Very lighter area here, so I don't put too much. Here a bit darker. You can darken this up a little bit here. These hairs are now starting to coming out this side and taking a twist this way. Patience. Costs a lot of patience to get this thing done properly. Darker down in this area. See, some places I'm sort of going over it and sort of getting a lot of little, very subtle cross-hatching in this area. Very subtle. And that helps me to darken up this area a bit. Darken this up. This area is a little bit darker here than there, so it gets slightly darker as it comes down into this little area. And lighter down this corner. It's not all the exciting part now. We're in the tedious part here now. Don't try and darken it up to some of the places too early. Rather get it light first and then darken up as we go along. Very slight cross hatchings. Some of these hairs do go over each other, so there's nothing wrong in doing this, as long as it's not too obvious. If it's not going the wrong way here, we can sort of emphasize a little bit of the dark and the light going in. When I come to this area here, I'm not going to put it in so dark. I've sort of faded away. It's like a vignette. Get slightly darker. In other words, darker, and get slightly lighter and lighter, and just let it fade away. You've got in the fold of the neck here, it's a little bit darker. It does get a bit lighter in this area. Let's finish this top bit. A little bit dark up top there to show up the ears. And you got some of these hairs that also flick up a little bit, out the wrong way, some out that side. Just makes it interesting. There's a slight cross-hatching. And I want to do a little bit more of the cross-hatching down in this area. Into this, as it goes down into here. A little bit of a darker area here. We're nearly finished. Bring this up a little bit here. A little bit darker in this area. Bit of cross-hatching. Very light in this area, very, very light. Nice white area here. And we just start vignetting some of this out. Last little piece. That's it. I think that's actually this little line here is a little bit too heavy, so I'm going to put a few little dots inside there so you can just see it. So there's there, that's better. And I'm going to just take that away. Just leave that as it is. Just that. I think that's okay. I know the photo hasn't got it, but we got some nice whiskers on this side, so let's add a few out here. That evens it out a little bit, I think. So let's just break that hard line a bit.